We're spotlighting the issue of INEC's preparedness and its integrity to conduct a free and fair election. Yesterday, the PDP spokesperson came out to talk about the fact that, to alert Nigerians about the fact that they've uncovered plans by INEC to manipulate the electoral process. In the studio with me today, we have the Director General of the African Action Congress, Dr. Malcolm Fabiyi. Dr. Malcolm, it's again a wonderful pleasure to have you on SaharaTV, sir. Let's get your reaction to the PDP's alert that they've uncovered a plot to actually, manipulate the process. In fact, they accuse the APC government of manipulating INEC in order to rig this election. What's your reaction to this allegation?
Well, look, my reaction is that anything that puts INEC on high alert, anything that makes INEC ready or even more ready to have a free and fair election is welcome. If the PDP has evidence, the Nigerian people obviously would love to see it. If anybody knows about rigging, I think the PDP and the APC are the master riggers. They've demonstrated for the last 20 years that if they know nothing else, they've not moved this country forward, they've not helped us in terms of infrastructure. But if there's one area where Nigeria beats every other nation under the PDP and the APC, it's in the area of rigging. So when the APC tells us, when the PDP, now that they're in opposition, tells us that they have evidence that rigging is, that INEC is prepared to rig elections, I think we should take them seriously because they are masters of the game. But the bottom line is, if the PDP is raising an alert, I think we certainly shouldn't ignore any of those calls or warnings right now. But I think all of these issues, if INEC, and I believe they've at least so far seemed to show themselves to be somewhat fair. If INEC is concerned about the integrity of the process, it is their job to come out and very openly and very clearly let Nigerians know why we should not be concerned if there are significant stakeholders in the process that are indicating that there is reason for concern.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, had earlier reiterated their commitment to the process and to the Commission's readiness to conduct credible elections.
Correct.
In fact, in their words, he stated, if I may quote him, that the 2019 elections will be credible. We will jealously guard the process and we ensure that the process leads to the outcome that all Nigerians expect. Can we take them for his word? Can Nigerians believe that INEC will surely deliver a credible elections come to February 2019?
I think if we look at the antecedents of INEC, I'd reiterated earlier when we'd had a similar conversation that INEC has three fundamental responsibilities. The first one is to make sure that there is a robust registration of voters, and that has been done. There are 84 million Nigerians that have registered. The next one is to ensure that those registered voters have the capacity and the ability to vote by the presence of card readers and PVCs, and if and when the PVCs have been collected, whatever is left of the PVCs has to be secured. And they've announced to Nigerians how they plan to do that, that from February 8th, all the uncollected PVCs are going to be quarantined with the CBN. We wait to see that. February 8th is coming. We'll see what INEC does. The third one is on election day, how do we make sure that we have all of the electoral materials where they need to be, all of the electoral officers in place, and ensuring that the process itself goes smoothly. So we cannot give INEC a pass mark on the third one until the end of the elections on February 16th. But if the INEC chairman, if he's somebody with an eye to history, I think he will know that his predecessor in the office, Atairu Jega, now receives respect from all around the world, not because of what he did as a professor, but because of the way that he conducted the last elections. And I hope that INEC and its leader are looking to history, because that is what matters.
One of the issues that is of major concern has to do with the guidelines for the elections.
Right.
Earlier, I mean, in 2015, as a matter of fact, you had a system where accreditation was completed before voting and the results announced. But now, INEC is coming up with simultaneous accreditation and voting. How workable is that? Do you think that will work in this instance?
You know, it could work. So you know, obviously in the last elections, as you indicated, it was two-staged. People first of all came up, and from about 7 or 8 a.m. till about noon, it was accreditation. And then after the accreditation, a lot of people went back home and then came back for the elections. One of the things you would always notice is that some people who went back home sometimes didn't come back. I am hoping that the simultaneous accreditation and voting is intended to help us move the process forward, so that those who vote, those who get accredited, can at the same time, without having to go back home and spend, you know, without having to go back home and then come back in line and then vote, We're hoping that that reduction in the number of people participating in the process can be eliminated by this. Look, the reality is this: voting in Nigeria is incredibly cumbersome. The people who do it are people who you must really be interested in effecting change. It's an entire day's process, 7 to 12 just for accreditation, and then you come back and then it's from 12 or 1 to 7 p.m. before the voting process itself ends. So hopefully what this will do is it would help speed up the process. We know that that is how we do everything else. You go to a bank, you get accredited, the verification process and the process of conducting your transaction take place simultaneously. So we're hoping that's what's going to take place here.
Now, final question. That has to do with INEC's warning to the media people as well as observers against announcing verified results, and that announcing election results found to be fake can actually lead to jail times for affected publishers. I mean, considering the fact that people will want to know, collations will be done at the centers and results will be coming in as this, they are announced at the centers.
That's right.
Wouldn't that create a problem?
Well, I
for
think
people to wait until INEC actually declare results. There are concerns and fears that there will be manipulation during those processes.
I can assure INEC that they are wasting their time. If elections, and that is how elections are conducted, the votes are going to be counted in each of the 120,000 polling units. The votes will be verified at those 120,000 polling units. The party agents will sign at those 120,000 polling units, and the results will be posted. Once those results are posted, those are verified and validated results. So it is our belief that at that point, Nigerians can begin to know what happened at each of those individual polling units. Here's what I'll tell you. As a political party and as a movement, the Take It Back movement, we are asking all Nigerians. We actually developed an election monitoring app. Anybody that has a smartphone can go to Google Play Store today and download an app called AAC Take It Back. That app turns each Nigerian at the polls into a polling monitoring person. So we are not going to wait for INEC to go to a collation center. We know the way rigging happens. Rigging happens between the polling unit and the collation center, where the results that were announced at the polling units are different from what's in the collation center. The actual results, the verified results, the authentic results are whatever is announced in the polling units. So anybody, whether INEC or anybody else, that says it is illegal for Nigerians to broadcast that, they're making a big mistake. Nigerians are going to turn up at the polls. We're encouraging Nigerians to record everything they see. Anybody gives you money, record it, regardless of what party they come from. The results get announced. Use apps like ours or any other platforms that you have and document those results. Nigerians deserve to know. And whether INEC likes it or not, that process is going to take place. Guess what? They might have to jail 84 million Nigerians who go to the polls and document what is happening at the polls.
Doctor, thank you once again for this insightful analysis.